Hi, my friend. Welcome to Choice Tech. In this video of Choice Tech, we are going to solve the problem of count possible decodings of a given digit. It is one of the challenging problems for the programmers, which brings with itself little bit of fun. And I am sure that you are going to love solving it. But before we move towards constructing its algorithm, we are going to check what its problem statement has to say. So you are given a digit sequence, or you can also say that you are given a number. Now in our case, the digit sequence or the number is 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1. Now all you need to do is to find out the number of possible decodings of this digit sequence or this number. So what I mean from decoding is that every digit over here corresponds to an English alphabet from 1 to 26. So 1 over here corresponds to A. So that is the first alphabet. 2 over here corresponds to B. That is the second alphabet, and so on. Before we check out all the possible decodings of this given digit sequence and understand the problem better, I want you to take a look at this condition because you will have to incorporate this in your program. So any digit sequence with leading zeros or trailing zeros will be considered as an empty digit sequence, and it will have one decoding. So you can put this as a base case in your program, this condition over here, that whenever you are going to get a digit sequence with leading or trailing zeros, you are going to return the possible decoding as 1. Now let's check out the possible decodings of this given digit sequence. So this is our decoding sequence 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1. The first possible decoding is ABCDBA. Now like I told you, every digit over here is decoded to its corresponding English alphabet. So 1 over here corresponds to A, that is the first English alphabet. 2 over here corresponds to B, that is the second English alphabet. 3 over here corresponds to C, that's the third English alphabet. And 4 over here corresponds to D, which is the fourth English alphabet. 2 and 1 again are P and A. Now let's take a look at the second decoding. So the second decoding is LCD-BA. The thing which brings a flavor to this problem, or the thing which makes this problem trickier, is that we can't limit ourselves to just a one-to-one decoding. We know that one number can be decoded to its corresponding alphabet. But over here, if I take this 1 and 2 together, then I get the 12th alphabet as L. So this A and B from this pattern will be replaced by L, and this becomes second decoding. So that is something that we need to consider while constructing our dynamic programming algorithm. Over here we have the third possible decoding, which is AWDBA. Now W comes from this 2 and 3 taken together. 23rd alphabet is W, and that is why we have the pattern as AWDBA. So similarly, we have three more patterns: ABCDU, AWDU, and LCDU. The last two digits give us 21. 21th alphabet is U, and you can see in the last three decodings we have U in the end. So I'm sure that now you know what are the decodings of a given digit sequence. We are going to solve this problem using a dynamic programming algorithm. We are going to do that in our framework, but before switching to the framework, a humble request to you to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon, because that way you will get notified whenever I release videos like this on dynamic programming. Let's switch to the framework now. Alright, so here is our digit sequence. I have spread out the digit sequence into individual cells, and now they are represented by indexes so that you understand this solution better. This is our solution array. I have created this array of n plus 1 size. Our n is 5, so there are 6 cells in our solution array. I'm going to populate this 0th cell with 1. Why I am doing it, you are going to understand it in a while. Now this cell will contain the solution of the first subproblem of this digit sequence. I am going to assign it a variable I, and this I will keep moving towards the right once we calculate the value of a particular cell. Alright, so what should be the value of this cell? Now, this cell represents a subproblem, and that subproblem is 1. This means that there is only 1 in our digit sequence. So when there is only 1 in our digit sequence, then how many possible decodings can be there? Only 1. A, because first alphabet is A. So only 1 possible decoding can be there. So hence I'm going to populate this cell with 1. Now what the algorithm is going to do, the algorithm is simply going to take the value from the cell represented by the index I minus 1, and that is why I have given 1 over here. Alright, there is one more usage of this space cell, and you are also going to understand it once we progress with the solution. Now I moves one cell to the right. Now the subproblem has 1 and 2 in the digit sequence. Alright, so we have already calculated the value for the previous subproblem and it was 1. So we had the possible decoding as A. Alright, now if I am going to add 2 to it, then I am going to get a decoding which is going to be AP. So this decoding is going to be the first decoding of my current subproblem, which is 1 and 2. Hence, what the algorithm is going to do, it is first going to take the value from the cell represented by I minus 1. So I is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1, the value here is 1, so 1 will be populated here. What we are doing here is that we are taking the value of the previous problem, because irrespective of the number of digits you keep adding or keep appending to the digit sequence, the number of decodings is going to be same as the previous subproblem. So what we are doing here is we are utilizing the value of the previous subproblem, because irrespective of as many digits we keep appending to the digit sequence, the number of decodings for the current subproblem will be at least equal to the number of possible decodings of the previous subproblem. So that's the concept we are applying over here. Okay, now we have already got 1. Okay, now we have to check whether we can get another possible decoding out of it. So what we are going to do, we are going to go to the I minus 2th cell of the digit array. So I minus 2th cell of the digit array is going to be 0, because I over here is 2. So 2 minus 2 is going to give us 0. So we have 1 over here. So what we are going to check, whether the value of this cell is either 1 or 2. Alright, and then what we are going to do, we are going to go to the I minus 1th cell of the digit array. So what is the cell which is represented by I minus 1? I over here is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. So this is the cell, and the value over here has to be less than or equal to 6. So what we are checking here is that these two digits are greater than 10 and less than equal to 26. So we can conclude that we have a possible decoding here. That's what we are checking over here. Alright, so here we have 1 and 2. This is greater than equal to 10 and less than equal to 26. So we have a possible decoding here. So what we are going to do, we are going to add this 1 to the value of the cell represented by I minus 2 in solution array. I over here is 2, 2 minus 2 is going to take me here on the 0th cell. Here the value is 1, so 1 plus 1 is going to give me 2. I'm sure you are asking why I have added the value of the cell represented by I to the value of the cell represented by I minus 2. Do not worry, I am going to explain it to you as we progress with the solution. So just keep watching this video. Now our I moves one cell to the right. Okay, so this is our third subproblem, and we have 1, 2 and 3. So first thing that we are going to do, we are going to bring the value from the previous subproblem. So why we do that? Let me tell you. Okay, So the previous subproblem was 1 and 2, and the possible decodings we got were AB and L. Now the recent subproblem is 1, 2, 3. So we append the decoding of this new digit to this pattern and this pattern. So what we are going to get? We are going to get ABC and LC. So as you can see, we had 2 over here and we are getting 2 over here. That's why I'm saying that the number of possible decodings of the current subproblem is going to be at least the number of possible decodings of the previous subproblem. That is why we are bringing 2 over here. So I hope this is clear to you now. Alright, now we are going to check if these 2 digits give us a new alphabet. Okay, so we are going to go to I minus 2th cell of the digit array. So I over here is 3, 3 minus 2 is 1. So over here the value is 2. Okay, it has to be either 1 or 2. So we qualify the first condition, and then we go to I minus 1th cell. So 3 minus 1 is going to take me here. So over here the value is 3 and it has to be less than or equal to 6. So this tells me that these 2 digits are greater than or equal to 10 and less than equal to 26. So we have one possible decoding over here. So what we are going to do, we are going to add this 2 to the value of the cell represented by I minus 2 in the solution array. So I is 3, 3 minus 2 is 1. So this one is added to this 2 and I am going to get 3 as the value. Alright, I moves one cell to the right. So now the subproblem has become 1, 2, 3, 4. Straight away we are going to take the value from the previous cell I minus 1. So we'll have 3 as the initial value of our current subproblem. Now we are going to check if we are getting any new decoding over here. So I minus 2 of the digit array is going to be this value 3. Like our first condition says that this digit has to be either 1 or 2. Here it is 3. So this condition is denied. So now we are sure that we are not going to get a new decoding from here. So this number is going to stay like this only. Nothing new will be added to it. So it will be 3 only, because here we were getting 34 and that is greater than 26. So it's not going to represent any alphabet and hence this value is going to stay as 3. Now I moves one cell to the right. Alright, over here the first value will be 3. Now let's check for new decodings. So I minus 2 is going to take me over here in the digit array. The value over here is 4. It is not either 1 or 2. So this signifies that these 2 digits when taken together are going to be greater than 26. Hence no chance of any new decoding over here. Hence this value is going to stay the same. I moves one cell to the right. Over here we are going to populate 3 right away. Now let's check for any new decoding. So I minus 2, which is 6 minus 2, 4, is going to take me over here. The value over here is 2. The first condition is satisfied because this value has to be either 1 or 2. Then I minus 1. So I minus 1, 6 minus 1 is going to take me here, 5, and it represents 1. So this one is less than or equal to 6. That means these 2 digits when taken together are greater than equal to 10 and less than equal to 26. That means we have a new decoding over here. So what we are going to do in this case, 3 will be added to the value of I minus 2 in the solution array. So I minus 2, 6 minus 2 is going to take me here. Here the value is 3 and 3 plus 3 is going to give me 6 and this is my answer. Now let's expand this subproblem so that you understand this dynamic programming solution completely. So what we did, we added the 3 over here to 3 over here. So let's first take a look at the subproblem represented by this cell. So here the subproblem was 1, 2, 3, 4. and current subproblem was 1 2 3 4 2 1. The possible decodings till here were, and straight away when we populated 3, so the possible decodings became 3. Now, when we found out that we can have a new decoding because the last two digits are giving us a new alphabet, have the capability of giving us a new alphabet. So what we are going to do in this case, since the last two digits are giving us a new alphabet, so we exclude that, and what subproblem we get? We get this subproblem only. If we exclude 2 1 from here, then we get 1 2 3 4. This is a problem. Here the patterns were 3. So we add the value already over here to this value over here. Here the possible decodings were 3. So if we add the new alphabet to these 3 decodings, then we are going to get, look at that. Now we are getting 6 possible decodings, and that is why we added 3. That means these decodings to these decodings, because when you are going to add the new alphabet to the already existing decodings of the previous problem, all right, you are going to get new decodings, and that is why we were adding the value of the cell represented by I minus 2. This is the logic behind it. Now, since we have solved this problem using dynamic programming, let's take a look at its algorithm. So this is the base case in which we are assigning 1 to the 0 itself, or the cell represented by index 0 of our solution array, the base cell. Then over here, what we are doing is that we are just taking the value of the previous subproblem and assigning it to the current cell. Here we are just checking whether the digit represented by the current cell and the digit represented by previous cell, when taken together, are less than or equal to 26 and greater than or equal to 10. If so, then we have a new possible decoding, and like we discussed, we are adding the value of the current cell to the value of the cell represented by the index I minus 2. So this concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you learned from this video. Let me know your feedback about this video. Do give it a thumbs up as well. I look forward to help you with programming and algorithms. Thank you. Goodbye.